What's going on, everyone? Chris and Ash, Onorato and Miller. A lot to do on this week's show. We're loaded up with guests. We're going to talk with Dyson Williams, who had that game winner for the Albany FireWolves behind his back.
It was awesome.
In overtime, a game that the FireWolves really needed. They need all of them at this point, but a big win over Buffalo. We'll catch up with Albany's star rookie, Dyson Williams. We'll talk with the star from the show Bosch on Prime Video, which I know you love.
I do love.
Titus Welliver. He plays the title character of Harry Bosch. And the man who created the character, Michael Connolly, who's the author. We'll talk with both of those guys about the return of that show to Prime Video this week. And we'll talk to a couple of friends of ours, Amy and Kyle Greth, who went through the same thing we did, similar anyway, right? Nothing's really the same, but similar situation as us in terms of losing a son, and the foundation that they created 10 years ago and the success they've had and the big event that's coming up for them in the middle of April. But the sports topics, Ash, are
the NCAA Tournament.
Yep.
And it's baseball season.
We're ready to go.
This is Onorato and Miller, sponsored by Albany House.
Albany House, Marcella's, Bev's, Novice, and Performance Industrial, keeping this thing rolling. We appreciate their support. We get year round on this show, going 4 years now, I think.
You would know better than I.
I know, but my memory's not good. You know that. We're crossing the 4-year mark anyway here of this podcast on News Channel 13. Pretty cool. All right, let's get to the NFL news. We'll do the NCAA tournament. We'll give our Major League Baseball predictions for division winners and World Series winners as well. Packed into all of those guest segments, too. The Giants have signed 2 quarterbacks here. They already brought back Tommy DeVito. He's on the roster. They have now signed, in order, Jameis Winston and then Russell Wilson. Does this mean they're not drafting a quarterback at number 3?
I hope so. I hope this is what it means.
You understand neither of these guys on the screen are the future quarterbacks of the Giants. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, Russell signed a 1-year deal.
Yep.
It's clearly he's a stopgap.
So what do they do after 2025?
Draft a new quarterback.
All right. So they're going to be bad enough this year. This is the problem, right? Like, you can't be, 8 and 9. That doesn't get you anywhere in the NFL. You've got 3-14 is the perfect opportunity to get that quarterback of the future, if you will.
Yeah. And listen, you have no idea who's going to need a quarterback, but generally there are 3 teams who are chomping at the bit to get a quarterback. And obviously, if you're not in the top 5, you're probably not going to get that quarterback. But you never know. It feels like every year somebody's drafting their next franchise quarterback. So, but that was Will Levis for Tennessee a couple years ago, and now they're going to draft a quarterback again. Yep. So you just never know. I'm not saying that it might not turn out to be the best decision, but if you don't love a quarterback, then you take Travis Hunter and you figure it out with Russ. And I don't care if you're 8 and 9 or 9 and 8, like. That would be good for fans. So then you figure it out later on.
The Giants are bottom of the league in touchdown passes since Eli Manning retired.
Oh, shocking.
As a team, they threw the fewest touchdown passes last year. Bottom of the league. And there are some bad quarterback play in this league. Since Eli retired, the fewest touchdown passes as a team belongs to the New York Giants.
I say let these guys duke it out.
Yeah.
They're 2 serviceable
Wilson will
backups.
start for sure.
Yep. You let them duke it out. You take the best player on the board that's not a quarterback. That should be Travis Hunter. And you go from there.
Look, I agree. I would take Travis Hunter here as well. We all believe he is this transcendent talent. Where do you play him? Receiver or corner? The Giants secondary needs help, so maybe that becomes the immediate need. But it would be fun to see him play wide receiver opposite Malik Neighbors.
No doubt.
So I am all for the Giants drafting Travis Hunter and kind of kicking this thing down the road a little bit to see what happens. I also, if I'm John Mara and I don't have extreme confidence in Joe Shane and Brian Dable, I don't really want one of those guys making the decision and grooming my quarterback of the future, right? I would be, hey, you're on a short leash here. If this thing goes sideways early, you're out. We continue to lose games. I bring in a new GM head coach team, and they draft the next quarterback. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how Shane and Dable survive this year if this is the plan going forward, because it's tough to win if this is the model. Like if the model is these are the two guys you have at quarterback, draft Travis Hunter. Good luck. We want you to draft a quarterback next year, but don't be too bad that you get fired, but don't be too good that you can't get a quarterback. Well, now you're between a rock and a hard place.
Carol's checking in. Glad you found us live on a Wednesday night. Carol and Sam and our buddy Jeff Casey, who I just caught up with earlier this week for a segment we're doing on News Channel 13 about his dad, who is such a great guy, Dave Casey in Glens Falls. Sam says, he's been on a fan show. Yeah, it is funny. Like, I remember not all that long ago.
This happens, though.
No, not like this.
It does.
Okay. Give me another.
It's not like it hasn't been 30 years since they won a Super Bowl. I was in college. It's not that long ago.
Yeah, it was 2012. You were out of college.
That was my senior year.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Thank you. Okay. Yes, I think Sam's point here is not that they are losing, but that they just seem so directionless. We used to remember, it wasn't all that long ago that, 7 years ago, where we said the Giants never fire a coach in the middle of the season.
Wow.
And then they had a disaster of McAdoo and Shermer and
Joe Judge,
and now maybe Dave. I mean, these are short runs as head coaches with this franchise.
Dable's already gone longer than all the rest of them.
Yeah, I think Shermer only did 2.
I don't think McAdoo didn't get
plus.
Oh, I thought he was less than 2.
I think he went 2+.
Judge was 1.5.
Yeah. Think about this. This is a real lack of, and again,
I get
the fewest touchdown. They have been searching for a quarterback since Eli retired.
Here's the deal. And they had a guy who helped lead the Eagles to a Super Bowl. And they let him go because they didn't want to pay him.
Carol's bringing the positive energy, and I like that.
Oh, okay.
Every new start of the fall can be.
No doubt.
Yeah, maybe. All right, let's take a break here on Onorato and Miller. Like we said, bunch of guest segments to do on this week's show. We're excited about that. We hope you'll hang for those conversations. We'll give our predictions for the Major League Baseball season, division winners, World Series matchup and winner, and of course the NCAA tournament with a top-heavy seeded Sweet 16. Is that a good thing
chalky.
Or not? The Star from Bosch, Legacy on Prime Video. Titus Welliver next here on Onorato and Miller.
Mania at Elfin House, and we're offering slam dunk prices on top RVs. Right now, take home a Coachman Catalina for just $127 a month. That's an all-star deal for big-time adventure. Or step up your game with a Grand Design Reflection. Only $377 a month for championship-level comfort. But hurry, when the clock hits 0, these deals are gone. Visit Elfin House today and score big before March Mania ends. Elfin House RV, your total camping outfitter.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on. For cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair, you can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day. Like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Albany House.
Back on Onorato and Miller, Chris and Ash with you as always. And we love getting the opportunity to do things like this because these are shows we watch at home. And Bosch has had such a great run on Prime Video that it was so cool to see that it was coming back. And as you can imagine, I'm sure it's going to be bigger and better than ever.
Yeah, 3 seasons in of coming back, and I saw the first installment, so I've watched all 7 seasons of the first, and now we got to get into Legacy.
Yeah, okay, let's do that with the star of the show and the man who created this character known as Bosch. Guys, it's so great to have you with us here at the NBC in Albany, New York. Titus Welliver, Michael Connolly. Thank you for doing the show here. Michael, I want to start with you. University of Florida grad, correct?
Yes.
It's a good time to be a basketball fan, isn't it?
Yeah, I actually went to the SEC tournament in Nashville last week. Watched the Gators play.
Good for you. Nashville is one of our favorite cities in the world. Yeah, we love it there.
My money is on the Gators, so I'm sorry that it's just not going to work out, I'm sure, at some point. But either way, it's been a heck of a year for you guys.
Michael, I'm going to go back to you for 1 second, because I think it's fascinating from the author perspective, the time that you've spent developing characters. And when you look at the seasons, hey, we're going to use book 5 of this, book 6, and then book 19. What has the process been like for you once this character in this show takes off in Bosch to now have to continue that on, I guess, as quickly as you do to keep the TV series going as well?
Well, the fortunate thing was Hollywood came knocking on my door late. And so when Amazon came and said, let's make Bosch a TV show, I'd been writing about him for 20 years, and I can't remember the count, but there was several books. And they also made a unique kind of deal where they said, we'll take everything. And so, the first day in the writing room 10, 12 years ago, it was like, hey, use whatever you need from any book. If there's a case, if there's a piece of dialogue, if there's a character moment and it means something to you as a writer, put it in the show, because I'm going to keep writing about this character. You already have a lot of stuff, and I don't think we'll run out of story. And even if we did, we have this actor, Titus Welliver, who has really captured this character, and he brings ideas forward. And so there's a lot of stuff in the shows that's not from the books. And it's part of the collaborative evolving of the writing and performance of a TV show.
That final season, Bosch Legacy, March 27th. And for people who are as impatient as I am, you get 4 episodes off the rip.
We like this.
And then 2 every week after that, which is really cool. Titus, your list of credentials is really impressive, and I can run them down quickly just in terms of movies like Argo and Gone Baby Gone and The Town, but also TV shows like Deadwood, Sons of Anarchy, Lost was a big one, obviously. When you take this titular character role, do you know there's something about this that's special enough that I could be doing this 8 years down the road?
Yeah, I felt that immediately when I was reading the pilot script. I don't think I've ever read a pilot script as quickly as I did. I mean, it's my same experience as when I read Michael's books. They're not books. I'm a nighttime reader. And the first time I tried to read a Bosch book at night, I ended up going through the book until 3 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't stop reading it. So for me, I have to read books either on an airplane or someplace where I'm going to be left alone, because I can't put them down. So that's really, my experience in looking at the character coming off the page was this was a character that I really desperately wanted to play. And part of, being an actor in this business is kind of navigating a sea of disappointment, right? And so you never want to become too attached to something. But I felt an immediate connection to this character. I felt that I knew who this guy was and what the potential was there of, moving forward with this character, evolving with this character, which we've, having all these years of doing it, a decade, we've really had the opportunity to do that with Bosch. And so it's been incredibly rewarding.
Chris and I like to talk about like all-star teams. You have to be top 3 all time in name. Titus and Hieronymus. So real and character name, all-time great names. You are absolutely on the top of my list. Yeah. Titus, did you know when season 7 ended of Bosch, did you have a feeling that there would be sort of a reboot, for lack of a better word, or did it feel final until it then quickly wasn't?
Yeah, I think it did, and there was obviously a depth of sadness because of the bonds that were formed. My bond with Michael, you know, we were colleagues, but we're also very close friends, and I didn't want that to end. I knew the personal relationship wasn't going to end, and Michael and I whenever I have an idea, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, you know, I use Mike as the barometer because he has exquisite taste, and he's also very direct and can say like, "Oh, that's a great idea," or "Man, I don't know if that would really work." So I was very excited when we were told that they wanted to spin it off, and it made perfect sense to me, and it was set up properly for Maddie to go into the police department and to have Chandler to continue that relationship and take a relationship that had been contentious, and try to bring those characters to some kind of place of understanding and peace. And so, you know, these 3 seasons of Legacy, we've been able to really flesh that out. And I think that with this season, we've gone above and beyond the call of duty to give the fans something that's really, really one of our most powerful seasons.
And I'll let you guys get out of here on this. Michael, just led me into this. Titus did, for people who have been waiting for more Bosch, does this Bosch Legacy end things for you the way you would want them to end? You're the creator of this.
Yeah, I mean, we all wish we could do another 10 seasons, but to go out on this season with what happens character-wise, I think it's a great way to go out. I mean, because we're going to go out with people wanting more. And, you know, this is Hollywood after all, so maybe they'll get their wish down the line.
Spin-off 3.
That's great. I love it.
Maybe
March 27th is when Bosch Legacy first hits Prime Video. 4 episodes on the drop, and then 2 after that each week. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time with us. If you see Titus on a plane reading a book, do not bother him. He is deep in it. Guys, thank you. Continued success with this show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Jeff Ukelek. I'm owner of Bev's, and we're a beverage center in upstate New York. You're just going to have that wow component when you come in, like, wow, look at this place. It's bright, it's clean, it has everything that I need. Consumer is king. Be able to provide them a friendly environment and a place to shop, no matter where they are, whether they're down here in Saratoga or whether they're up in Queensbury. You're always going to get the same experience when you shop at Bev's. At the end of the day, if you walk in these stores, you're going to see a lot of people that have a lot of pride.
The great thing about Novice is no matter who you are, they're going to put all the detail in the world into your brand. I feel like they have been a big part of my success, making me feel comfortable. This is Harrison Butker, Super Bowl champion kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Claim your crown.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Albany House.
Fun to catch up with Titus Welliver and Michael Connolly. Titus was on the Today Show on Wednesday.
Wow.
Which means
we were the warm-up act.
Got that right. Yeah, definitely not the headliner. That's for sure. All right, more to do with guest Dyson Williams from the FireWolves and our friends, again, Amy and Kyle Greth, the Ohana Foundation. But before we do any of that, we've got baseball season, Ash.
Ooh-wee.
Opening day, and we wanted to do the show live on a Wednesday. If you're watching us on TV, live on a Wednesday here, a day before opening day of the Major League Baseball season. Here are my division and wild card predictions. I got the Braves in the East. Very competitive division. Phillies and Mets obviously involved there. I'll take the Cubbies in the Central. Anybody out there picking the Dodgers other than the Dodgers in the West is just trying to beat the system and outthink the room. Sure. And that's fine, but nobody should come to the table and have a convincing argument for why Arizona or San Diego will win that division over the Dodgers unless you say Ohtani and Betts get injured and miss 75% of the season.
Even if that happens, I'm not sure that they wouldn't win the division.
Diamondbacks, who I think will push LA in the West and have a really good season. Remember, they signed Corbin Burns. I think Corbin Carroll bounces back in a big way. Ketel Marte was a top 5 MVP guy last year. Arizona's good. And then I'm going to go with the Phillies. And I don't feel good about either of these, honestly, East teams. I could see the Phillies and Mets bottoming out at some point. Like Philadelphia everybody's on the wrong side of 30. The time is and has been now for Philadelphia, but they're super talented if they stay healthy and perform. So I'll put them in the playoffs. And I'm going to take the Mets here, even though the starting rotation stinks. It's terrible. Mets fans out there who think like, oh, we're going to go in the World Series. You don't have enough pitching to win the World Series. Juan Soto is not going to win you the World Series. No. But that's not to say they can't make a move before the trade deadline to help themselves in that department. So I think the offense, that lineup, Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Vientos, Nimmo, I think it carries them.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait to comment till you bring mine up. Okay. There we go. Very similar picks, actually maybe identical. Yep, actually identical. The one comment I had about the Mets was like, when you're hoping that Clay Holmes, like when you're banking so much on Clay Holmes being this like new starting pitcher, that's probably not a great position to be in.
I don't think he's ever pitched more than low 70s innings in his career, and now they're going to hope to get 150 out of him.
Right. Not a great position to be in. I wasn't totally sold on the Braves. We've talked about, I don't love their starting rotation. They didn't wow you in the offseason. They didn't do anything. It felt like more players left the Braves of note than went to the Braves. Max Fried, he's now a New York Yankee, but I still think they're the best team in the division. I wouldn't be surprised if Philly or New York somehow won it, though. I think it's a fun and very interesting division. And it's always, in baseball, it's always injuries because we've already basically written off the Yankees because of the injuries. So the same holds true for all of these teams. Cubs in the East, which I thought, this is Central. Sorry, this is interesting. It feels like it's been a little bit since the Cubbies have been really good, but you add a guy like Kyle Tucker, and that changes your lineup.
Yeah, I mean, Pete Crow Armstrong is legit. Yep.
Dodgers, like you said, I was on ESPN before we came on here, and every single writer, I think it was 28, picked the Dodgers to win. So that's all you need to know. Like, if we're not picking the Dodgers, then we're not very smart. And I had the same 3 wild card teams: Mets, Phillies, D-backs. It's funny because you'll see it in the AL East too. 3 teams from one division making the playoffs, and it certainly has happened before. It's not rare. But yeah, AL East and NL East, I have 3 teams making the playoffs.
All right, let's go to the American League here. I have no idea how I'm doing on time, but we'll just keep this thing rolling. I like Boston in the East. Yankees injuries are scaring me off. But on top of that,
they've signed guys.
Red Sox had a really good offseason. I loved the moves the Yankees made. And with a healthy Garrett Cole and Luis Gil, I felt like I don't think they're going to miss Juan Soto. I think they can replace that production in the aggregate of a few guys. Now without Cole at the top of that rotation, who knows with Luis Gil? The idea is he's only going to miss 3 months. I don't buy it. So give me Boston here, a team that is ascending. I like what they've done. Kansas City, how great is this? I mean, they have maybe the most well-rounded player in baseball who isn't named Shohei Ohtani and Bobby Witt Jr. And then I'm going to take a shot with the Rangers here in the West.
Is it a shot?
Well, it could be Houston. It could be Seattle. Are we banking on Jacob deGrom to stay healthy? Do we believe that's going to happen? Is Marcus Semien going to return to form?
They've got some young talent, though.
They do.
I mean, and it's unproven talent, but
Seager could be the MVP for all we know, right? So give me the Rangers.
But they're exciting.
Give me the Yankees, give me the Orioles, and give me the Mariners.
I like it.
Now, could the Twins or the Tigers or the Astros, I mean, there are a bunch of teams in the American League that could get into the mix here.
Similar looking. This pains my soul to go Red Sox, but there are too many injuries to the Yankees and the Orioles. I think both teams will get in, but they're much more injured. And the Red Sox went out and made big moves, and they're not injured right now. Yeah. I went different, and I went Tigers. I picked the Tigers last year. That was a little bit of a
wild card.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster ride. They have arguably the best manager in baseball. He could manage you and me and get us to the playoffs probably. Wow. And AJ Hinch. Yeah. Wow. But you've got Scooble, a guy like Jackson Jobe. Like, there is a lot of talent there. Would I be surprised if the Royals win the division? No, but that's why I think they'll get in the wild card. You mentioned Bobby Witt, and I just think they have a really good thing going with our guy, Matt Quatrero, who has been on this podcast before. And then, yeah, me too, the Rangers in the West. I think, the Astros ended up doing more, and I think they may look better than people think without all of the names that they didn't re-sign. But I'm not going to pick the Mariners or the Astros to beat the Rangers this year. I think that the Rangers will have some good young talent, and I think they'll look more like the World Series. And as will the Diamondbacks. I think those two teams will look more like the World Series teams they looked like 2 years ago.
Okay. I did gloss over the Mariners here. I think they have one of the best starting rotations in all of baseball. So give me pitching or give me death. I think that's
or give me injuries.
Yeah, I know.
That's the problem.
All right. I wanted to be different and creative and find a team that was going to beat the Dodgers. I couldn't find that team. Give me the Dodgers to beat the Rangers in the World Series.
And this also hurts I don't really love the AL all that much. I'm not sure why this year. I wouldn't put my money on any team to beat the Dodgers or even get that far. Someone's got to get there, though. So I'm going with the Red Sox just because I think it's the best division on that side of town. And whoever comes out of that will be my pick for playing against the Dodgers, not beating the Dodgers.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, there are your predictions for the 2025 Major League Baseball season. When we come back here on Onorato and Miller, the guy who had the game winner for the Albany FireWolves behind his back in overtime to beat the top team in the NLL, and that is Dyson Williams from the Albany FireWolves. Just checking in here. I'm just catching up on comments here. Brian, good to see you, buddy. Sam says Bruce Bochy is the best manager in baseball. Okay. And Jeff echoes our point here, not picking the Dodgers, just trying for a hot take of some sort. Yeah. All right, back with Dyson Williams in 30 seconds.
We're a beverage center in upstate New York. You're just going to have that wow component when you come in like, wow, look at this place. It's bright, it's clean, it has everything that I need. Consumer is king. Be able to provide them a friendly environment and a place to shop, no matter where they are, whether they're down here in Saratoga or whether they're up in Queensbury. You're always going to get the same experience when you shop at Bev's. At the end of the day, if you walk in these stores, you're going to see a lot of people that have a lot of pride.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpin House.
I don't know when you decide I'm going to shoot this behind my back. Is it like waiting for the pass, watching the pass, making the decision after the catch? Dyson Williams, NLL Rookie of the Week, wins it for the FireWolves in overtime behind his back. A team
from a good distance, nonetheless.
Very true.
That was from a good distance away.
A team that needed the win for sure is a big one over Buffalo. Ash was on the sidelines, on the floor for that one. Dyson, thanks for jumping on the show, man. How are you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's nice to be on here after a couple big wins. Obviously, 3 in a row is big for us. So looking to build off of it.
When do you make that decision? I'm shooting this behind my back.
Yeah, I think it's it's over 20 years of playing the game, and it's just instincts. So I think, you're used to it, and you got some tools in the bag that you got to, pull out at the right time. And I think, in that moment, that was the right play to be made. Being on at that angle on that side of the floor, with a defender in front of you, it's the BTB brings your stick to the inside and gives you a better angle to get the shot off, and it's harder for the goalie to read. So sometimes. A long game like that, 7 minutes of overtime, that's how the game ends. It's it goes back to, my backyard lacrosse roots where it's, all creative and fun plays to be made. So it was a cool one to go in, and obviously a great win.
Dyson, the atmosphere at MVP Arena has been next level the last 2 weeks, and we've set records for the franchise being in Albany back-to-back weeks, the most people in the arena for the FireWolves since they came here. Can you explain the difference in the atmosphere and what that does for you guys when there's that kind of energy?
Yeah, it's hard to put into words what it does for the team. You see kind of the games that we had at the start of the year where, the crowds aren't, as great. And, that was our fourth overtime game, and, our fifth, 1-goal game that we played at home. And, it's crazy to think that, just having those, handful of extra fans there compared to even the Georgia game, it makes an even bigger difference too. So it's, I think back-to-back weekends setting the, attendance record at MVP Arena was huge, and we truly did feed off it. It's the difference between winning an overtime game and losing it, because, the place erupted and on every play, and it was tons of fun to be a part of. There truly is a buzz now. I'd like to think in Albany for us, and I'm hoping that for the people that have came out to games for the first time in their lives, that they continue to do so, and that we have lifetime FireWolves fans now. So definitely meant a lot to us, especially with us kind of flipping our record and trying to get in that playoff chase, and we're still alive. So want to keep that going. We're definitely going to need that continued support from our fans.
Two-parter here, and that's the cardinal sin of doing an interview. But you didn't win the Tucker Out Cup, but you still beat the team that did win it, and the team that's at the top of the standings. How much did that victory mean to this team on both levels?
Yeah, it means a lot. There's one thing I didn't want this year is to go 0-3 in Tucker Out Cup games. So it meant a lot to get that win for him. With my whole family in attendance, obviously with Vegas playing in Buffalo the night before, putting up a good fight with them too. Obviously the winner of that game was going to clinch the cup. But it's it was special to have the family there for a great weekend, and to get that win against the team that my dad was playing for when Tucker was still around. So meant a lot to the team to do that. As an emotional night, but one that I'm definitely never going to forget that game and this weekend. So once again, just huge thank you to the Bandits, Desert Dogs, and to the FireWolves for growing this into something that never could have imagined would be a thing. So it is special, and to see his name on everywhere on the posters for the games and stuff. Obviously, we didn't have the jerseys. We already did the game with the jerseys, but it was still special nonetheless, and great to get that last win of the Tucker Out Cup series this year.
Dyson, we talked about it on the field after the game, but for people listening now, the 4 games prior to Buffalo, things had started to turn, and I think so much of that was thanks to the defense and the shots that they're giving Doug, but also thanks to, Doug has been playing next level, and I think it was even greater next level against Buffalo. A career-high 57 saves. I don't know that people understand that doesn't happen almost ever.
Yeah, being my first year in the league, it's become very clear to me. It's hard to even put up over 50 shots in a game, on net. Every defense you play, it's big, tough, strong, fast, and they match your skill and speed. So the fact that in an overtime win, our starting goalies, saving the ball 57 times just goes to show how calm, cool, collected he is, despite the noise. And Buffalo fans travel well too, and Dougie was hearing it after every single Buffalo goal. And I could only I'd like to think that only added to the fuel a little bit for him too, and he feeds off that. But for him to get a win like that, I was happy that we were able to get the job done in overtime, for him, because he put on a show, and he definitely deserved that win, and I'm happy for him.
What are we, 15 games into the season? 14, 15, 16 games in the season. How are 14, you feeling now as your rookie year goes on? We hear coaches saying it becomes cliche, but cliches exist for a reason, I think, because they're mostly true. Like at this point in the year, maybe you're not a rookie anymore and shouldn't view yourself as a rookie. Maybe the coaches don't view you that way either. How are you feeling now at this point in the year?
Yeah, I think you're hitting it right on the head. I feel, 15 games in now, it's my experience, and my confidence levels have only grown each game. I'm not the same player I was on November 30th playing in my first ever, NLL game. To see where our team's gone even, we're a completely different team. And I think that, being the youngest team in the league, there's a lot of growing pains with it. And we're still, trying to build that kind of that chemistry that can last, for the long term. It's special. And I'm learning a lot from the guys in the locker room and on the floor. And, I'm enjoying it every step of the way. But I do think that, I'm starting to, not feel like a rookie anymore and start to feel that, I'm starting to understand, the pace of NLL compared to, the other levels I've played at. Because it's the toughest league I've ever played in without a doubt. So I think it's tons of fun learning and doing it, but it's nice, starting to feel more comfortable and starting to be able to help out in big moments just because now, I feel like I've been through it more and can continue to build off of it.
For a team that's won 4 of its last 5, generally you don't want a bye, but I would venture to say that this bye came at the perfect time in terms of just some injuries and maybe taking a breather. Do you guys view the bye as a positive thing, or do you guys want to keep playing?
We have to view it as a positive thing because there's no sense of viewing it as a negative thing. We can't control it. So I think the best way to go about it is to, look at it as, okay, we got some rest. Let's enjoy the rest, but stay dialed and come back. We're heading to Vancouver next weekend, so it's going to be a big travel week. So, enjoy the maybe the weekend off of not really traveling as much, and then we're going to be back at it. So, and then obviously with some injuries, it's not a bad time to get some extra rest there. But yeah, I don't think there's any sense of being thinking about it in a negative sense when the NLL makes the schedule months ago. We knew that this was our bye week. It doesn't matter that, we would hope that we were 15-0 at this point. So, the record, it's all kind of, how the eggs fall. So it's nice to see that, we do. I'm not complaining about getting a little bit of rest this weekend. Yeah. My body's definitely feeling it, especially after a game against Buffalo. They make you earn every single shot. So definitely still feeling it more than I would on a normal Tuesday. So I just think it's great to, we're going to be very excited to get to Van and continue it. So I don't think I'm worried about losing any momentum with the squad and that we're going to be back and ready to go.
What do you do after a big win? What do the guys do after a big win like that?
We get to the locker room. We immediately start celebrating, and there's a lot of relief. I'd like to say after those kind of games, you see a lot of guys just hurting and tired, but yeah, definitely a couple ice cold drinks to celebrate. But it's nice spending time with the guys, especially majority of the guys don't live in Albany, and
right.
They'll travel in to see each other. So the time that we get together, it's Friday afternoon till Sunday morning. Everyone leaves, so and most of the time that we are spending together leading up to the game is preparation for the game. So it's nice having some time to actually kick back and hang out with each other and enjoy each other's presence especially after a big win. So it's
nobody raids Clarky's fridge.
No, Clarky's fridge is property of Clarky. No one goes near his fridge. He's no, I'm sure he'd be, especially after a win like that. I think he'd be very happy to open to us.
Happy to share.
But we have our own that we get to use, so it works out perfectly.
Bye this week, Vancouver next week. Back home for the regular season home finale, April 12th. Get your tickets now. You've got basically 3 weeks to get your tickets.
Let's go.
Set another attendance record because, listen, they're going to need you there. every game is a must win at this point, right, Dyson? Every game.
Yep.
100%. We're trying to stay hot, and we would love all the support that we can get.
Keep it rolling, man. Thanks for being with us, dude.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Grab the family and get on the water in style with a Barletta pontoon featuring the power of a Mercury outboard motor. You'll be slicing through the waves with a smoother, quieter ride, leaving you to relax and soak up the sun. Whether you're cruising with a family or tubing and skiing, Barletta and Mercury will give you the best ride on the lake. With their unmatched reliability and refined performance, Barletta and Mercury won't let anything hold you back from having a summer you'll never forget. So don't wait. Stop by Alpenhaus Boats and start your next adventure today. Check out our great selection on Route 30 in Amsterdam and online at alpenhausboats.com.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
All right, Ash, let's keep things rolling here on this week's show. Onorato and Miller, ahead of Major League Baseball's opening day, we gave our season predictions, division and World Series winners, and we've got other business to do here.
And now, dirty, difficult, and done. Sponsored by Performance Industrial.
Bill Miller's great crew at Performance Industrial, where there's never a job that's too dirty or too difficult for them to get it done. I'm stealing this from Sam, our buddy and our viewer.
Yeah, good. I like this.
Tweeted at us his frustrations over college basketball's transfer portal. Tom Izzo, Michigan State's head coach, aired some of those same issues with it. So is college basketball's transfer portal timing? Because we're not going to argue about the portal. The portal happens.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Is the timing of it dirty, difficult, or dumb? Because it opens before the NCAA tournament's even finished.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's stupid. And they've only pushed it up a week from last year, but 750 people in it in like a hurry on Monday. Yeah. So I think it's dumb. Wait till the season's over. Wait till coaches have landed where they've landed. Wait till teams are done playing basketball.
It's all three. It's dirty because there's definitely recruiting happening during the season before the portal's open. Hey, come play for me when the portal opens. It's difficult to navigate for these coaches. Bruce Pearl made the point, hey, you want to play for Auburn? You're going to have to wait for a little bit. And that makes it difficult for him as well. And it's dumb. It's dumb that we're doing this during the NCAA tournament and stealing some of the headlines of these games for guys who are entering the portal.
And they don't have time to recruit while they're doing this. So stupid.
Yeah. Okay. So we say it's all.
You say all three, but dumb. I say dumb.
You just say dumb.
It's time for the MVP of the month, sponsored by Marcella's Appliance Center.
Nick and Johnny and the great crew at Marcella's Appliance Center. All of our appliances here in the Onorato household. From Marcella's, the MVP of the month is Duke forward Cooper Flagg. Now, he missed some time in the ACC tournament, yes, but he's been the driving force of Duke being the betting favorite to win the national championship here. You see the numbers, 18, 8, and 6. During the month of March, which is the most important month in college basketball. So we're giving it to Cooper Flagg for the month of March, the Marcella's MVP of the month. Back in 30 seconds.
Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Ash, you and I have said this many, many times now in the last year plus. Our loss has, in such an unfortunate but meaningful way, connected us with other people who have gone through the same thing or something very, very similar. And so we want to lift those people up as much as we possibly can. It's why we started the Nash Weston Onorato Foundation. It was to follow in the footsteps of people like Amy and Kyle Greth, who are with us on the show this week to talk about their foundation, their gala coming up. 10 years now, guys, and it's April 12th. at the Hangar, which if you've never been to this
You've raved
event
about it.
space before,
Yeah.
it's incredible. I've been there for a number of events. It's awesome. Guys, thank you for being with us. We want you to share your story with our audience and talk about the gala as well. But how are you guys?
Go ahead.
First of all, thanks for having us on, guys.
Yeah.
It's always great to see you and to share our stories, and always nice to talk to somebody who's been through what you've been through. Makes it a little easier. So thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys are ready to go April 12th? How are we feeling?
We're feeling great. We're excited. We're getting a great response.
Good.
And I think everyone's just ready for a night out. And this is really a celebration of 10 years of working in the community and 10 years of helping families that have lost an infant. Yeah. And so we're really there to celebrate that and also raise money for the foundation so we can keep doing what we're doing.
And it is the Ohana Foundation we're talking about.
Yeah. And guys, can you, for people who maybe don't know about it, explain a little bit about what people, God forbid anyone goes through something like what we have both gone through, what can they turn to you for?
So Ohana Foundation is our main mission is to help families in upstate New York who have lost a baby. And how we do that is through financial assistance for funeral expenses. So we work with funeral homes all around the capital region, and they're great. And they discount their services for infants, but there's some things that can't be discounted, like third-party services. And that's where we come in. And can help supplement that. And then also a big thing that we do is the remembrance program. So we want to make sure that even after the funeral and after those weeks after the baby has died, that we kind of come in after that and help honor and remember your baby for years to come. So we're kind of that community that you didn't know and didn't want to be a part of. But now that you are, we're here for you. And that's where our remembrance program comes in. And I know we all love doing that too. So that's kind of Ohana in a nutshell. Anything you want to add?
One other thing that we do that I think is really special too is we provide Albany Med with books for grieving for siblings. So it's a tough thing to be a part of as a family. So trying to explain to a brother or sister that their brother or sister is not coming home with us. So we've provided a few different types of support books to maybe help that conversation, make it a little bit easier on the parents going through that.
I know. I think we just try to fill voids where is needed. So in any way that we're needed in the infant loss community. But the remembrance program and the funeral expenses are the two main things that we do that we raise funds for.
You guys were at Albany Med, right? I know you have big plans and goals for Albany Med to honor your loved one. And so we want to be part of that. And that's why, we hope people will buy tickets to the gala on April 12th to support the Ohana Foundation.
Yeah. And I think, guys, listen, part of the process is like, as you get further removed from your loss, fewer people ask about your child. So as much as you're willing, please share, your story and tell us and everyone watching about your son, because I think that's what makes us feel good still. And I hope that we can do that for you. So please, if you're willing to share.
Yeah, we'd love to share about Noah. So Noah is our second baby boy. We have 3, so 2 living boys and Noah. Noah's our middle child. He was born at 24 weeks. So he was small, but our first boy was also very small when he was born, and they were able to work a lot of miracles in the NICU and save him. So there was never a doubt in our mind that they would be able to work miracles with him, and they just weren't able to. So we were able to hold him and be with him. But after that, we had to say goodbye, and we did the funeral and everything. So I think it's not ever something that you're expecting will happen. And I think we were in disbelief up until that moment, you know. And then after that, a couple months later, I kind of brought it up to you about, you know, just how we could honor Noah, and our family was a big part of that. And they kind of came around us and supported us a lot. During that time, we did a walk for the Tears Foundation like 4 months after he was born. And I think we had like the biggest show out in history for that walk for Noah. So after that, we were just like, what can we do with this on our own, and kind of help supplement what we feel was needed in the area as far as, you know, Albany and the surrounding counties. We felt that there was a need for further support. Just all of that kind of comes to light when you're planning a funeral for your baby, that, you know, support that's needed. And so a year later, shortly after his first birthday in heaven, was when we started the foundation. The inception of it was March 2015. He was born February 2014. So it was shortly after his first birthday. But Ohana, I know a lot of people are like, well, where's that name come from? Do you want to tell a story about the name?
You can tell it. It's one of them things that, you know, it's just, we had a vote from our family. We had a couple ideas that we were tossing around for the foundation, and just, we obviously love Lilo and Stitch, and that's one of our favorite Disney movies. And just the meaning behind, you know, Ohana means family, and family means no one's going to be left behind or forgotten, was just really special to us. So we actually had a vote with our family, and we put a few different names on the voting card at Noah's first birthday celebration.
Yep.
And that, I think, was almost unanimous for Ohana from the names that we had. And so we just went and rolled with it. And one thing that I want to add, and I'm sure, you know, you guys felt this way too, is with the start of your foundation, you know, Noah was only with us for a few short breaths, and we decided shortly after that, you know, he was going to make a difference in this world one way or the other. And, you know, that's a big thing for us, to be able to honor him each time that we help a family, and just think about his name and hear his name. And that's really special to us, to know that, you know, he's making a difference in this world.
I love that.
Yeah.
We opted for the most vowels in history in a foundation name. That was our goal, I think. Yeah.
In his name.
And
I
in
mean,
his
all
name.
of it. It was
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
Well, I mean, the last name kind of starts it off right off the bat.
It does. Yeah, you're not
Yeah.
running from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, man.
We were wondering if maybe, so like we honeymooned in Hawaii, and we thought like, ooh, we kind of also left Hawaii thinking, oh, we love the idea of Ohana. And that was obviously before all this. So we did wonder like, oh, I wonder if they honeymooned in Hawaii, or they have a special connection to it. But the word itself is beautiful.
We didn't honeymoon in Hawaii, although I think we wish we would have. But also, after we picked that name, we realized that you can spell Noah with all of the letters in Ohana, which was not something we had planned either. But I think behind the name, we really wanted something that felt good when you heard it and when you saw it, and that there was good feelings behind it, and kind of starting that off on the right vibe.
Now, you guys have done golf tournaments in the past, I know. First time doing a gala, right?
Yeah.
When people buy tickets to this event, they go to the beautiful hangar, and the weather's going to be good.
Yes, it will.
Open up those doors. It's going to be awesome. What types of things are they in for?
Oh man, they are in for a night. So we're so excited about this. I don't want to give it all away, but we are really into the live music in the Capital Region. We love live music. So I used to work in a live music venue. So I got to know a lot of local musicians doing all of that. And so our good friends from Funk Evolution are going to come, and they're going to be basically our headliner. We also have Shannon Taya and the Troupe. They're going to open up. So they're going to do our cocktail hour. So we have some really fantastic local music, which is really what we wanted the main draw to be. And we've got some great food spreads. So there's going to be 3 different themed stations for food.
From O'Dalian.
Oh,
so you guys know the food's going to be good with them.
Yep.
Which I'm excited about too, because I mean, we're huge on food. We gotta have good food.
Gotta have good food, good music.
Yeah, good food, good music.
Our silent auction is really coming together. So we got a lot of really cool items that are going to be up for bid there. So that'll be something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I know there'll be a number of ways for people to donate while they're actually at the event, which will be just as important as buying the ticket. That money that gets raised at the event is so critical. You don't know what that number is going to be, but when you collect it all and you realize, oh my gosh, this now we can do so much more than we kind of thought. And that's why Ash and I walked away from, the bocce tournament we did. And we said, now we kind of get it, right? We've been to a bunch of events because we're asked to do those things. But when you realize how critical the silent auctions are, or raffles, or wine pulls, or 50-50, whatever it is, right? I mean, the money that people contribute there makes such a big difference.
Yeah, it sure does. And I think all of that is, it goes straight to the mission, and and you get to take something home too, which is always fun. So it's a win-win.
No doubt.
Well, we can't wait for the 12th,
April 12th.
guys. Yeah.
They can buy tickets on the website.
Yes, they can go to ohanafoundationinc.org and go to the events page, and you can find the link there. And then we also have on Better World, we have a link there. So it all goes to the same place. But yeah.
Ohana's on Instagram. It's on Facebook.
Yeah, find them on
socials.
socials.
It there. It's easy to find those links for tickets for April 12th. Guys, thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for everything you're doing for people well beyond just me and Ash. But we have an ornament from you.
Yep.
We feel your impact from the foundation as well. Thank you.
Thanks for the time, guys. We really appreciate what you're doing, and the support for our foundation from your foundation was amazing. And we're looking forward to that kind of partnership continuing going forward too, and helping more infant loss families, which is a good thing.
The great thing about novices, no matter who you are, they're going to put all the detail in the world into your brand. I feel like they have been a big part of my success, making me feel comfortable. This is Harrison Butker, Super Bowl champion kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Claim your crown.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Albany House.
All right, Ash, final minute or so to go here on this week's show as we get ready for the Sweet 16. Major League Baseball's opening day is here. And question from Sam, and it's a good question. We didn't address this at any point. Why did the Braves trade Ian Anderson? Quickly, I'll try to do this in 20 seconds.
Here we go.
Out of minor league options. So that means Anderson had to be on the major league roster all season long, or the Braves had to trade or cut him. This was a trade option after Ian was just struggling still with control. I don't know that the Braves felt comfortable putting him into the starting rotation to begin the year. And if you're not going to do that, then you have to look at other options where maybe he can be successful. And hopefully that's in Anaheim for Ian, who we will always root for.